Bitcoin closed below a significant area last week. However, late shorts could get punished. I'll have all the details in today's video, including the key levels to watch, the latest on Tether dominance, and also a liquidation heat map from BTC. And this video is sponsored by Blofin. Right now, guys, using my link, you can get a $300 deposit bonus. And the great thing about Blofin, I've been trading with them for over a year. They've been stellar. And also, they are no KYC. So that means that if you're in the US, you've been struggling to find a place to trade crypto, Blofin is the answer. There's no KYC, no application. You sign up, deposit money, and you're trading within minutes. And for a limited time too, I am granting lifetime access to VIP on deposits of $1,000 or more. So that's going to get you access to my trades in real time. Also my trade ideas, exclusive videos, and the course. And we do all this in Discord, so it is all real-time chat. All right, guys. So looking at BTC USD, right? We have the market coming off of the 106.6 area that it closed below last week. So I want to start there because I want to preface this entire video with telling you that even if I talk about the potential for a bounce, I am not bullish on Bitcoin right now following last week's close. And the reason for that is we've talked about this area back here. So you can see these range highs from December and January. These highs go from 106.6 down here near the closing price, or all these highs through this area, all the way up to 110. So we talked about this failure here on BTC recently at 110. This right here was a failed breakout. You can see 110 became resistance. In full disclosure, I was shorting right around 111. So just about 111, I was getting short through here. I mentioned this in the VIP area in real time. So I am still in that short. I've taken nothing off here simply because of where last week closed. So let's take a look at that first, because the weekly close is always going to trump the daily time frame. So looking back here again, this is our key level here at mid 106s. And you can see here that we've got two weekly highs right off of that level. And you can see where last week's candle did close below that and also engulfed the previous week's body. So all in all, guys, it's a relatively bearish looking weekly candle here. And this is why, again, I see no reason to be bullish on Bitcoin right now. And we could get that move down here toward the 100K area. So there is resting liquidity down here in this region that we talked about last week. And that could be a target for BTC over the coming days. However, there is still the potential that we do see late shorts punished here, because what you'll notice is that we did get a weekend rally from Bitcoin. So these two green candles right here are the Saturday and Sunday candles. Now, the thing to keep in mind, guys, with the weekends is that they're primarily driven by retail traders. So whales and institutions are typically not very active on weekends, or really at all. And so all of this here is really just retail driven. So you've got to be careful. You always have to take weekend moves with a grain of salt. And today's, reversal is a great example of that. Now, so far, this candle has so far taken out Sunday's low. Okay, so it has satisfied that. Okay, we've taken out the low, and we did see a little bit of a bounce here recently, although the market's giving back some of those gains so far. So what this is going to come down to, as far as do we get a bounce here from Bitcoin or not this week, is going to be 104.8. So 104.8, this is going to be the area to watch that I've talked about on X before. And you can see we've got closing prices back here, some lows through here, although obviously the wicks, traveled quite a bit past this. But these closing prices back here tell you that this is your key level. And furthermore, last week, guys, we saw a big battle here at this level, even on Saturday with this high, and then Sunday closed above it. Okay, so that right there, kept the potential for some relief here this week intact. However, the key for Bitcoin is where today's candle closes, because again, all of this here, these two green candles, this was mostly retail driven. And so once whales and institutions come back in the market, that's when you really get that liquidity, and volume equals conviction, right? So looking at this here, what this is going to come down to is where today's candle closes. Does it close up here at 104.8 or below it? If it closes up here, then we get that push up here, potentially toward 106.6. That is our key level that failed here recently for Bitcoin. Keep in mind too, that this low back here, there is an imbalance up there right around 106.8. Okay, so 106,800. And 106.6 is going to be your resistance. Okay, so that could be a potential case if today closes above 104,800. That's going to be key, guys. If it closes below, then we have the market, still holding below this. Because again, remember, weekends are, primarily retail driven. So you've got to take it with a grain of salt. If today closes below 104.8, this becomes resistance once again. And we're getting that, potential push down here toward these lows. Okay. So I still think, like I said at the beginning of this video, guys, even if I talk about the potential for a bounce, right now sellers are in control. You look at last week's candle closing below 106.6. In my opinion, guys, there's really no reason to be bullish here on Bitcoin. I mean, again, this week here closed last week below 106.6 here, and also engulfed that previous week's body. So all in all, a pretty bearish close. we have the market once again selling off today. But the question remains, do late shorts get punished here, or, does Bitcoin just head straight toward 100K? For me, guys, I would love to see the market come up here and test this area. Okay, it doesn't mean it will happen, but I would love to see it, fill in this imbalance back here, give us a full retest of 106, sweep that high following today's move lower, and then from there, guys, give us that next leg lower. Okay, I don't know if it'll happen. If it does, though, again, I still have my short on from 111 up here on that sweep of that previous range high. If we got this, then I would be looking to add to my short, okay, because I still think that this area down here around 100K is probably going to be next, considering the liquidity that's built up there over the past month. Now, let's take a look at a chart here on Tether dominance that, in my opinion, if there's one chart that says we might not get relief for Bitcoin, it's going to be this chart. And we talked about this here recently, which, first of all, let me go all the way out here and move this up so you guys can see it. This chart, guys, is incredibly clean. It has been clean going all the way back here to November and December. And I love this chart because, first of all, it moves inversely to Bitcoin for the most part. So you know that if you're getting a rally here, you're getting a pullback from Bitcoin and vice versa. And secondly, it's a lot cleaner, in my opinion, than even the Bitcoin chart. I mean, this market has been just so clean here with this level down here at 4.37 that we talked about recently. So if you guys will remember on X, I pointed out when the market was back here, I showed this support and I showed an arrow going from this level down here to 5%. And so far, we're getting exactly that, okay? And I'm not putting this out to brag, but that was my anticipation. And so far, it's been really, really clean. So the key here for Tether dominance, we can see that we did get a breakout above that 4.7 mark. So this was resistance back here. We can see we got the close above. Notice what got tested here over the past couple of days, right there at 4.7. This flips to new support. So this is the one chart that indicates we might not see Bitcoin give us that relief rally into 106.6, because if this moves inversely to Bitcoin and we're seeing this market hold above here and just continue higher from current levels, then obviously we're not going to get that relief from Bitcoin. Okay, and we won't see those late shorts get punished. Now, here is one scenario, though, that could play out in terms of a little bit of Bitcoin relief up there toward 106.6. You can see that back here, we've got this imbalance here off of this high, right around 4.66. So this right here, I mean, if we were to get Tether dominance coming down here, giving us, let's say, an intraday flush down here, an intraday wick down here toward this area, and then we get the bounce, and then we get that push higher. That right there, guys, could give us that relief into 106.6 for Bitcoin. Okay, so, a few scenarios to watch. Obviously, we have to entertain everything because we don't know where these markets are going to go. We just have to play the probabilities. But right now, speaking of probabilities, guys, even if we get this, I do think, even if we get a wick down here, I do think that, the next stop for Tether dominance is probably going to be this pocket back here. And not only is this resistance, but this is also a big imbalance for this market, simply because you can see the aggressiveness of this candle, the aggressiveness of this move. And so far, we are getting a retrace into it. Okay, we even did on this wick here. However, there's still an imbalance back here around 5%. Okay, so if this happens, if we get this up here, that probably equals Bitcoin down there to at least 100K, maybe just below. But again, there is still the potential that we get to move down here toward 4.66, a quick, flush down here before we get that balance, and that could provide some relief for Bitcoin and clear out those late shorts. Okay, so again, looking at Bitcoin, guys, we're trading right now at about 104, 100. Really no indication right now one way or the other, because we do still have 9 hours left in today's session. Keep that in mind, that this is going to come down to where the market closes relative to 104.8. Okay, now let's take a look at the liquidity and heat map here. And by the way, guys, if you are enjoying the content, be sure to smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one all throughout the week. Okay, so looking at the liquidation heat map from HighBlock, which, by the way, if you're not using them, guys, they are a great service. It's not cheap. It's not free. Obviously, it's not cheap. But if you're serious about trading, in my opinion, they are a great platform to use. And so back here, you can see that this shows the liquidity for BTC. So in other words, it shows, long and short liquidations. So if you see this, these yellow areas up here, this is going to be short liquidations because it's above the current price. Areas like this down here are going to be long liquidations. Okay, so long liquidations down here, short liquidations up here. We know that markets move between liquidity pockets, knowing that these tend to serve as magnets. Now, the thing I want to point out here with Bitcoin is you can see where we are getting a little bounce here today. However, this area, okay, right back here. So let's zoom in this pocket up here in this area. All of this through here. Okay, all of this that you see up here in this area, right around 106,500 or so, that's based on today's high. Okay, so today's high was right there, just below 106, and we saw a seller start to pile in. So what you can see here is that as Bitcoin moved lower, you saw this area get brighter, right? All of these lines here are showing short liquidations as shorts piled in. So the point here is that if we are going to get Bitcoin closing back above 104.8 today, right, that keeps the pressure on the 106.6 area. And this up here, this pocket of liquidations, it's not huge, okay, but this could serve as a potential magnet if we get Bitcoin closing above 104.8. I can't stress that enough, guys. If we don't get that, then I don't think we are probably going to see this here, at least not anytime soon. We may eventually, but I don't think we're going to get it in the next day or two if Bitcoin fails to close above 104.8. All right, so that's what to keep an eye on. Again, my ideal scenario would be to come up here and test this area and punish late shorts here because again, we did sweep the low from Sunday, and we know based on that liquidation heat map that shorts are piling in so far today. And we also have this imbalance from back here, right around 106.8. Okay, so again, I would love to see a retest up here. However, that does not mean I'm bullish. And it also doesn't mean that I think that you should be buying. I mean, you have to do what you have to do. This is never financial advice. But I just don't think that this is the area to be buying down here. If anything, you're looking for shorts on strength, or at least that's my opinion. Again, never financial advice. I don't mean to tell you guys what to do. That's just what I'm doing. If we do see a retest up here, I'm looking to get short, okay, or at least add to my short position from 111. So that is the bottom line, guys. I think that right now we have some indecision out there with the market just going sideways around here. But again, I would love to see late shorts get taken out, get a sweep up here toward this level and then get that push down here. But either way, I do think a push down here into these lows right around 100K is the likely scenario here in the first half of June. All right, guys, I hope this helped. If it did, be sure to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. Don't forget to sign up with Blofin, a no KYC broker that I've had great success with over the past year, and claim your $300 deposit bonus. Trade well out there. I will talk to you again tomorrow.